Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm going to share.
Okay.
If I can find the share. Where's the share button? All right, you guys. This is gonna be something that you guys need to put on your desktop and play every single day.
Yes.
Okay. Can you see?
Yep.
I've said to you that the reason you don't stick to your resolutions and your goals and your declarations to be better and do better and become better is because you are emotionally weak. You see, we're all emotionally weak. It's the other side of the sword, the great gift that we've been given as humans. We're the only species that has been given this choice. The choice to do less than our best. You see, every other form of life does all they can. Trees grow as high as they can. Squirrels store up as many nuts as they can. Bees make as much honey as they possibly can. Bulls reproduce as much as they can. Every other life form does all they can. It is only humans who do less than they can. The psychology that gives us this choice also makes us emotionally weak. Phenomenon that Dr. Timothy Wilson of Harvard University calls the wet blanket syndrome. You see, the brain considers change very dangerous. Change is seen as a threat. Thus, the brain creates emotional resistance to change. If the mind can kill a great idea by dampening it with emotional turmoil, it will, which is often what derails you from your resolutions and your big goals. So since it's not intellect that we lack, but emotional strength, this is exactly where we need to hack and attack our weakness. You need to get emotional. And the most stirring and motivating emotion that we have is anger. You need to get pissed. Stop letting yourself off the hook. Stop accepting. Stop settling. Stop breaking your word to yourself. If you're fat, get pissed. If you're broke, get pissed. If you're mediocre, get pissed. If you're scared, get pissed. That's it. No more. Draw a line in the sand. Say, I've had it. Resolve once and for all that this is it. No more. No more will you live like this. Indifference is a disease. You have to attack this. You have to get after it. The next best thing to prosperity is adversity. It is usually adversity that finally stirs you out of a stupor to finally rise up and do something about your mediocre situation. You need inspiration or desperation. You need to ignite strong feelings. Stop being polite. Stop complaining. Stop excusing. It's your freaking fault. You have done or not done what you know to do because you are lazy, undisciplined, lack self-control, and have acted immaturely. Own it and get pissed about it. You should be pissed. You have been given all these great gifts and capabilities by your creator, and you have squandered them by succumbing to weakness. With those awesome capabilities that you were given, the grand gift of choice, and this is what you've chosen to do with them? How does that make you feel? Mad? Mad at me for talking to you like this? Or mad at yourself for letting yourself off the hook and your creator down? Either way, get mad. You should be mad. Here's the bottom line. Stop pussyfooting around. Pop up, grow up, and get after it. Muster up some emotional strength. Anger works, and start doing what you know to do. No excuses, just action. No whining, no excuses, no complaints, no yeah buts. It hasn't worked for you in the past. So turn anger instead. Use the negative emotion of anger to initiate the positive shifts that you need to change your life. Make an actual resolution. Stop making wishes and just state what you will do. Draw that line in the sand and then shut the front door. Never go back there again. Lock the door and don't look back. This is only look forward. The new you starts right now. The 1%. The old you is over. All the excuses are gone. Your old stories are over. Decide right now. never settle for less again. Resolve to become all that you can become. Hey, look, you think you have pain? Here's the worst pain of all. For you, for your spirit, for your inner potential, and to your creator, knowing that you are not doing all that you can. So let's go. I'll help you.
Yeah. That's the front door. All right. Hopefully that fired you guys up. What'd you think?
Can we just ask people to mute your line unless you want to ask a question, because there's a lot of background noise?
Yeah.
The only two not muted is Sharina and Sarah. So can you guys just maybe put it on mute?
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I hope that struck a chord with you guys. I listened to it this morning, first thing, and I was listening to the card. You know, I was like, yeah. I think that's a great message to play in our challenge groups as well as amongst ourselves. So we'll let you think about that for a while, and we'll post that link to that video so you guys can all have it. Your turn, Jen.
I muted myself. I was listening to my advice and I muted myself.
Oh.
Okay, so first thing we want to do is review sort of how we're going to blend the teams and how we're going to manage you guys knowing everything that's going to be going on every month with the team calls. So basically for Deb's team, you guys are pretty much used to a calendar situation. I've seen her post in her team Facebook page before that, you know, she sets up a calendar and a schedule. And for my team, we've really only done, you know, business opportunity calls or sneak peeks together, but there really hasn't ever been a calendar. So in order to merge us into doing a lot of this stuff together, we decided to use a calendar in Google. So I've created a Google Calendar for both of our teams to access, and I'm going to share this with, you know, Deb knows how to share it, or I'll share it later with both teams. But in the Google Calendar, we can all just go onto Google. You'll see it'll say TD, Team Dare to Dream, and the DN, Team Calendar. And so I'm trying to load up that calendar with everything Beachbody that you could possibly want to attend. Not just our team calls, which will be every other Tuesday. We're going to have 2 calls a month. Deb will take the lead on one. I'll take the lead on the other. One will be during the daytime. One will be in the evening. So we'll have a lot of variety. We're also going to get some guest speakers to join us throughout these months. And, you know, a lot of other leaders in the business look for guest speakers, and we reciprocate with them. So that's going to be a lot of great feedback for you. And then we're also going to be doing live power hours, 2 of them a month. So that is where we'll get on a Zoom call like this all together and literally go through a power hour together. You know, we'll say, okay, the next 15 minutes is dedicated to this. Put on some music, get it done. It's just going to show you guys how to navigate the power hour efficiently. We're also going to be doing business opportunities and sneak peeks, but those are going to be kept to our own teams. The reason why we're keeping that way is because obviously Deb wants to feature her team. I want to feature our team. So in order to do that, we're just going to keep things separate. So business opportunity is this Thursday evening. Deb and I are doing it at the exact same time, but we're doing our own calls, and all of you guys should know about that because it was already posted on the Facebook team page. Next Tuesday will be our first live power hour. I will kick that off. That'll be Tuesday evening, and you'll see all this on the Google Calendar. So once we get the link out, save it as your favorite. Try to access it from your phone, from your iPad, from your computer. Make sure you know how to get to it and understand. We're also going to have the Zoom links posted right in there. And then once we get the recordings, we'll post the recordings in there. We want everything to kind of be populated in there regarding what's going on with the team. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. I think there's going to be lots of things for you guys to attend. So if you can't attend one live, you can attend another one live. You can listen to recordings. It's going to be great. So that's the Google Calendar. We wanted to review that quickly with you tonight. Now I'm going to toss it back over to Deb.
Great. So I wanted to point out too that when I do my things, my team calls or the Life Power Hour, I will typically be doing a daytime. And when Jen does hers, she will typically be doing an evening. So that gives you different options of different day parts to do this. So that's another thing to know. All right, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen again because I want to get into the topic of our call. So when I was listening to Darren Daly this morning and listened to that message, and based upon what we've been doing with goal setting and reading my team's goal setting and their green, yellow, red things, and the thing that came to my mind is I hear a lot of people talk about being fearful. And so I was listening to that and I thought, are you going to be fearful or are you going to be fierce? So that's why we're calling this call How to Create Your Epic 2016. Are you going to be fearful or fierce? Your choice. Because it's totally up to you. And I know we talk a lot about your why that makes you cry. And sometimes, I think, maybe you aren't the emotional type. Maybe you don't, think about things like that. But boy, we sure do like to get mad, don't we? I mean, we like to be mad. We're a society of mad. So I think that maybe this whole thing about I'm just going to get pissed. I'm going to get fierce about this because that sounds so powerful. And that's what I want you guys to feel about this is you are powerful beyond belief. And you have a powerful offering. You have a powerful personality. No, even if you don't think you do, every single one of you has power in who you are. So I want you to really, I hope that you'll go away from this call and listen to that video again, but think about the power that you have and be fierce. And when you start to doubt yourself and you start to get off your goals, I want you to think about, do I want to be fearful or do I want to be fierce? Because I know which I would choose, and it's a choice. Who wants to be fearful? Who wants to be a victim? So I'm going to go. I just did a few screens. Nothing fancy. But it gives us something. That's so weird. I see this strange little pop-up box when I open up my thing. All right. So I think this is too big. So we've been talking on both of our team pages about goal setting. And this is really the key to your epic 2016. This is the key to your crazy, cool, amazing life. I never created goals before I became a Beachbody coach. Now, I had to create objectives at my work, and I did those, with a lot of fearfulness. I spoke about that the other day because I knew that if I didn't hit those goals, there would be negative repercussions, right? And so I really have never gone about setting goals in a fearless manner until I became a coach. And I've learned that by people telling me, first leaders told me to be fearless. And second, I started reading, and all the leaders and mentors I was reading said to be fearless and said you will accomplish so much more in life by failing than you will by living safe and never taking the chance, never dreaming big. And I'm like, well, that's a really novel concept. So let's talk about your success funnel. And this is the way it boils down, because we need to go from a vision all the way down to a very actionable, measurable plan. So real quickly, we have on our teams, I'll put this up in here. There we go. We have been talking about vision boards. Jen and I hosted a call this Sunday about creating your vision board. I'm not going to drill into this a lot because Jen did a great job, but your vision board is your visual focus. And you'll notice on my vision board that focus is my word of the year. And that's, just something I've heard of other people doing, and that just popped into my head. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be my word of the year. And I really see a vision board as being a focus for you. It's something that you can see in your mind every single day. And I truly believe in the power of visualizing your goals. And you, again, your personal development reading will tell you the same thing. You need to be able to see what you want. You need to be able to feel it. You need to be able to hear it. You need to be able to smell it and taste it. I use the example all the time of when I was striving at my first summit. I made the goal to be on stage the next year. And that whole entire year, as I was working towards my goals, I would visualize, and I could see it because I'd been there before. I knew what summit looked like. I could see the stage. I could hear the crowd. I could hear the applause. I could smell Janelle Summers' perfume as she walked by. I don't really know what she smelled like, but I could pretend that I could smell it. I could feel it. I could feel, the energy. So visioning helped me stay focused. So if you haven't already created your vision board, I strongly recommend that you do that. It's going to mean something to you. I've asked my team to share theirs with me. When I look at your board, it doesn't mean the same thing to me as it means to you, but it's definitely a very important part of your process. And this is something that, again, it can make you feel emotional when you look at it. Maybe it makes you feel poignant. Maybe it makes you feel fierce. Maybe it's like, yeah, I have never taken my family on a vacation to Disney World, and they deserve that. My kids deserve to go to the happiest place on earth. I want to be the one to take them there. That can get you fired up. The next part of the funnel is drilling down to your goals. So the vision is kind of a more it's a more abstract thing in that you are the one that can really interpret what that vision board what that means. I can't necessarily get the full meaning of it. Your goals, this is the next step. You have to document your goals. Goals that are in your head are not goals. Those are wishes, those are hopes, those are dreams. And big dreams are great, but they only come true when you have a plan to achieve them. I go to the convenience store several times a week, and I see people buying those lottery tickets, and I always wonder, those are probably the same people that would tell me they couldn't afford Shakeology, right? They're buying a lottery ticket and a Red Bull and a pack of cigarettes, and that's their dream, right? That's what they're placing their dream on. Well, we're going to build our dreams on actionable, tangible things. So I do what Chalene Johnson calls her 10 crazy cool goals. And if you haven't read her book, Push, then that's a good thing to put on your personal development list. She also has the 30-day push as a free freemium. So you can go to 30daypush.com, I believe, and you can go through all her videos. And I've done both. But crazy cool goals are things, these are your big dreams. And I know this is really, really hard. So why do we only have 10? Because this is, whenever we started, the way you get to your crazy cool goals is you create this kind of a big brainstorm of things, right? And so as I shared mine with my team, I have, 30, 40 things on there. Maybe there's 20, and you look at your list, your goals for 2016, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed already. There's so many things you want to accomplish. You've got to drill it down. You've got to focus on those things that are most important. And she recommends 10, your crazy cool 10 goals. And so what you do is you bubble up that kind of brainstorm of things you'd like to see happen in 2016. You bubble that up. And a lot of times that list of 20 or 30 things really will fall into the category of 10 things. Now, think big and be fearless. I use the example again that, I remember I had an income goal. So as you know, I lost my job about 6 months into being a coach, and that's when I became a full-time coach without a full-time coach income. Not the way I recommend you doing it. But I remember going to our financial advisor. We have our meeting every year, and he plugs in numbers, and he would ask, he asked me, what's your what do you think what's your projected income, based so that we can figure out what you're projected to do next year. And I said $100,000. I'll be making $100,000 by the end of next year. And this was me going from, I think at the time that I quit my job, I quit, left, whatever. I have those numbers, but maybe I was making $600 a month. and I was going to make $100,000 a year next year. Well, I didn't hit that goal. And I remember sitting in his office that same time next year, and he asked me again. He's like, so what number? And I'm like, we're going for that same number again. We're gonna do more, but we're gonna just put that number in. And the next time I sat in his office, I far exceeded that. So yeah, that was a crazy cool goal to think I'm going from $600 a month to $100,000 a year. You know, that's crazy. But you know what? If I hadn't had that vision that this could happen, because I knew it could, because other people were doing it. And that's how you know something's possible instead of impossible. If someone else is doing your crazy cool goal, then you know it's possible and you know you can do it too. Same with being debt free. We've had that on our goals for a couple years, and we just have fallen just a little bit short of it. It's on, I mean, that if I didn't have it on here, if I said, well, you know, I'm not going to put it on there this year, it wouldn't be a focus for me. By having it on my goals, whenever I review my goals every week or every month, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I better stick to that budget that John put together, that, you know, I shouldn't do this now, I should wait, you know? So this gives you focus. The other thing with your crazy cool goals is they need to be actionable and measurable. So I've seen some of you do your goals that says, for instance, I want to grow my Beachbody business. What does that mean? What is grow? Because you have to be able to look at this list every month, every quarter, and at the end of the year and know if you were successful or not. So how will you know you're successful? Well, I want to grow my Beachbody business so that I'm making consistently $500 a month. Okay, that's a measurable goal. I want to grow my Beachbody business so that I achieve Star Diamond by the end of the year. That's a measurable goal. I saw another one early. I mean, I want to be more healthy. I mean, you hear that from your challengers. Oh, I want to lose weight. And sometimes just getting them to tell you what that number is like pulling teeth. So you know how you do that with your challengers. You have to do the same thing with yourself. When you look at your goals, ask yourself, how will I know I'm successful? How will my partner know I'm successful? How would my sponsor, my mentor, you know, whomever your success partner is, how would they know I'm successful? Well, because I said I'm going to be making $500 a week, and I either am or I'm not. Maybe you're making 400, and maybe right now you're making 100. So maybe you don't hit the whole 500, but you got a whole heck of a lot closer because you were focused on that goal. So your 10 crazy cool goals. How to get that done. The next piece here is we're going to drill down into an action plan. And so this is something that your Beachbody sponsor is going to want to work with you on. So that's why we're asking to see these things from you. We want to see what your crazy cool goals are. We'd like to see your vision board, right? So we can get excited about that with you. But in particular, we're going to want to drill down into your business goals. And so you, again, you know, I want to build my Beachbody business by, you know, mine said I want to, you know, build a solid 10-star, 5-star elite team. Okay, that's kind of broad, right? So but I know I have more goals. And see, the thing about this is what I struggled with is I had tons of business goals and I didn't have as many life goals. And so when Shalene said, you got to boil them up to 10 and you need to focus on key areas of your life, not just business. Well, I had like 10 business goals, but that's when I had to learn how to kind of, okay, what do these all boil up to? What is kind of the push goal for my business, right? You know, this thing, if I do this with my business, will help me achieve all these other things that I want to do. So I drilled down and I gave myself dates for rank. I gave myself specific Success Club goals. I gave myself specific coach enrollment goals. I gave myself specific goals on mentoring my new coaches. And then I got into some more business goals, like writing a weekly blog. And that for me is important to put that on there because I've been saying I'm going to do that for a little while now. And it's just not happening. So I wrote that very specifically. And yeah, I would like to write a daily one. That was on my goals, I think, last year. Yeah, let's just start with weekly, right? So this is how you drill down into your business goals. And then you share that with your sponsor. This is another piece that they can help hold you accountable to. So the next thing we wanted to go into is accounting and trackability. Accountability and tracking. Let's just say it that way. this is getting even more specific. So we have your action plan for your business goals, right? And you can do that for other areas if you like too, with your fitness goals. I mean, if you have the goal to run a half marathon this year, you may have some, I'm going to do this 5K and that 10K and this 10K, and then I'm going to be ready by, for this half marathon in October. That would be how you would drill down into that goal. Your key to success, though, your absolute key to success, especially in your business, is going to be accountability and tracking, because what gets measured gets improved. And the question I am asking my coaches is, do I have your permission to hold you accountable? And what I mean by that is, going back to what Darren said, no excuses, no whining, no complaining, no what ifs, no I'm not good enough, no feeling sorry for yourself, no, my house caught on fire, no, my dog died, no excuse. I own this. Own it. That doesn't mean we're not without compassion. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that at all. But it means if you have told me this is important to me, this is what I'm going to accomplish this year, and this is why it's important to me. This is what I get emotional about, I get fired up about. And yes, you have permission to hold me accountable. Then whenever, I see a lapse in that accountability, I can ask you, do you still want to be held accountable to these goals that you told me? And then you can make a choice. And that way you can consciously make that choice. You may say, Deb, I'm dealing with this right now, and I have to choose this. I have to choose this. And then I may ask you, so you're telling me that these things over here that you said you wanted to do, that you're okay with not doing those? You're okay with not achieving, that this year? You said you wanted to save enough money to put a down payment on a house. You said you wanted to save $5,000 in your savings. You're okay with not achieving that. And I'm not asking that because I'm not compassionate. I'm asking that because I am compassionate. Because I want you to achieve what you want in your life. I have, worked this business through my mom's lung cancer, through my dad's heart surgery, through my son going through alopecia and losing his hair. I've done this through my own depression and emotional kind of daily battles with fatigue. It's just, it's that important to me, because I know if I didn't have this, that I wouldn't be able to focus on those other things, right? There may be times when your level of activity goes down a little bit, but I never leave it. Doesn't mean I don't take breaks. That doesn't mean I don't go on vacation, but I don't ever leave my business. Just like an owner of any business, you don't ever just say, forget about it. 10 more minutes. So we've got this in a PowerPoint, and we'll share these slides with you. But what we're gonna ask you to do is to drill down, because you need to know what weekly activities you need to be performing to achieve your goals. And by goals, we're really going to measure that in income goals, because at the end of the day, that's probably what most of us would like, is to be able to have a certain level of income to do certain things that will enhance our lives. So the things that we're going to be measuring are down at the bottom with the X's and Y's. You're going to be setting the number. You're going to say, I want to enroll X many new coaches a month. I want to enroll X many new challengers a month. And I want to have this many personally sponsored coaches get to Success Club. Then you're going to plug it into the formula based upon your weekly income desired. Now, moving on to the next slide, let's look at it. $150 consistently per week, 12 months from today. So the weekly income that you choose needs to be what you want to be making at the end of this year, not what you're making today. Because the premise behind this is the compound effect, right? So what this doesn't say is, if I start doing all of this today, 1 week from today, I will be making $150. This says if I do these activities consistently over time, every day, every week, every month for 12 months, this is what I should expect. Okay, so the deck that we're going to share with you has different levels, 150, I think it's 250, 500, 1,000, 2,000, and so on. So you can pick what you desire to make by the end of this year, right? And then you plug the numbers in. So here, this particular example shows this person wants to sign 1 new coach a month and get 2 new challengers. Now, for me, like if I said, this person may still say, I want to sign 5 new coaches a month and get 5 new challengers. And they're going to plug those numbers in. And that's going to tell them, well, to do that, I need to have this many business invites every week. So here they need 2 business invites to get 1 new coach a month, 2 business invites a week. Challenge invites, they need to do 4 challenge invites a week to get 2 new challengers a month. And so on. You can understand that. This is helpful because, you know, it's always concerned me when we give you powers of 3 and business activity trackers because, you know, if everyone doesn't have the same goal. So if we all say, well, do 2 invites a day and do 2 thises and do 2 that's, well, what is that going to get you? I know I had to ask myself that when I lost my job. I said, well, I'm doing the 3 thises and the 5 that's, but how's that going to get me from $600 a month to, you know, $1,000 a month? How's that going to do that? Or 2,000 or whatever. And I finally had that aha that I need to do more. Well, Sarah tries, one of the elite coaches that put this little formula together, and this is what she determined based upon her past experience. And so this is just a way for us to figure out, well, I want to make this much, so I have to do this level of activity. So we'll give you a chance to try that out. So the final thoughts before we have our time together is I want you to think about how bad do you want something different? And I'm really digging into that when I do one-on-one calls with my coaches this year. I want to know how bad you want it. And I want to know what's different about this year. If you've been a coach for several months or you've been a coach for a few years, what's different now? Do you have written goals? Do you have an accountability partner? Who is that? I've shared my goals with my husband. I've shared them with Jen. I'm sharing them with my corporate mentor. And I've actually shared them with my team. So I have many places of accountability. Will you measure and track your goals? That means, will you do the tedious activities of tracking? The number of invites, the number of follow-ups, the number of new contacts. It's tedious. Figure out how you're going to do it and do it. Whatever works for you. Basically, will you do whatever it takes? Will you do whatever it takes to achieve the dreams that you have for your life? Because we were not made to be mediocre. Choose awesomeness over averageness, right? That's what Autumn said today in our workout. Do you choose to be average or awesome? Will you throw your excuses out the door? Will you give your coach, your accountability partner, your husband, whoever, permission to hold you accountable? And will you be fearful or will you be fearless? Or I should say fierce. Will you be fierce this year? Every time you sit there and you get ready to invite and you start to feel fearful and your stomach starts to clench up, tell yourself, I am fierce. I'm fierce. You have too much to lose by not being fierce. All of those things on your goals board, those aren't going to happen by being fearful. They are not going to happen by being fearful. By doing the average things every day, the same old, you're going to have to change, you're going to have to get uncomfortable, and you're going to have to be fierce. Your Epic 2016 is totally your choice. It's totally your decision. It is something that is within your power, which is a good thing. Because if it wasn't, then you would just be a victim of circumstances, but you're not. So I hope that gives you some thoughts. We will share all of this with you. That's a lot of information, but hopefully a lot of you have already heard that from me or Jen already. So Jen, wrap it up with, I don't know if we have a lot of time to talk about Success Club trip.
Yeah, we probably don't within 3 minutes have enough time to go over it. I wanted to make sure you guys knew how to find the FAQ, how to find all of the details about the 2017 Success Club trip, because there's a lot to know before you make your decision on whether or not you're going to register for that trip. I mean, I hope you register for the trip, of course. I am going to go on my 5th. I'm going to register for my 6th. I love those trips. They're family trips for me, but there's a lot to know about it. And I just want to make sure, since I don't have the time to review it in detail with you right now, that you go to www.puntacana2017.com. That's the official website for it. That's where you'll be registering for it. And that's where you'll find the FAQ link. And also there's another FAQ that relates specifically to how to earn the trip dollars and what the trip dollars are worth. So that's FAQ 1320. Please go and search that out so you know, because you can cover all of your trip with Success Club points, or you can wind up paying quarterly for what you don't cover. So I want to make sure that you guys definitely check that out and ask questions if you need to, if you're not sure. But for now, since we have 2 minutes left, are there any last questions that anybody?
I wanted to stress to you guys, if that trip is on your dream board, you must register the day, the hour that registration opens for you, because the trip will sell out. 7,000 coaches can go. We have over 400,000. Everybody wants to go.
Yeah.
So you got to commit for that $300 non-refundable deposit. I know it's money, but that should even give you more inspiration and motivation to hit those goals that you're putting on your Success Club goals, etc. So do not wait. Do not ponder it. Have the discussion with your spouse. Make the decision now, and then do it or don't do it, because there's no second chances on that trip.
Yeah, and if you do it, like, be online ready to press pay like the moment it opens up. And it's going to be crazy. It always is. It's always like website glitch galore, but you just have to stick with it, because then the wait list gets huge, and people do cancel, and people on the wait list do get the opportunity, but why take that chance? So research it, discuss it like Deb said, and make a decision before the 19th of January. Okay.
Good job, you guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll post the recording in the Google Calendar.
Yep.
Our team playlists on our YouTube channels.
Okay.
Epic 2016, hashtag every post, Epic 2016. Everyone's going to say, what the heck is that?
Right.
All right. Good night.
All right. Bye, guys.